Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Good morning, good evening, wherever in the world you may be. Good morning, Susan. Wonderful to see you with us. I am just catching up on a few settings here to ensure that we do have audio all the way around, but it does look like we have so. Oh my boy, it's been a bit of a day. I will admit that I wasn't 100% sure if I would go live today. Normally it is my plan, but this morning I woke up with a knack of a headache, so it's been a bit of a long day. It's helped, and I have been doing some work as well. We'll need to catch up a bit tomorrow, because I did option to take an hour rest earlier because it's just simply I needed it. But yeah, I'm here. I feel better. I did, for the surety, grab some extra things to drink, which means that I today have both glass of lemonade and my tea. My tea is a Chinese spring tea, according to them. It's sort of an Earl Grey black tea with some rose petals. It does need to cool a little bit because I really just made it. I already had a cup of tea earlier as well. A cup, mug, technically. So I do have extra things to drink just to make sure if the reason for the headaches is lack of fluids. Good morning, Megan. Wonderful to see you. Susan says, I just needed a kitty cat head from Sarah Elizabeth Kellner's book. Book title is Knits for Kitties 25 Knit Patterns for Making Cat Toys. Okay, never heard of them, but nice idea. I did progress a little bit on the knit beanie, but not much, to be honest. I've mainly kind of had the focus on the Ultimate Sacrifice shawl, which of course I have here next to me. I need to pull a little bit closer. And I am so far that we're really on the home stretch run right now. I don't think, or maybe if I'm really good, we could finish it here. Actually, I should probably find my weight scale because, my friends, this is the last bit. We just need to add this to this, and we're done. I should actually start measuring so I'm not just suddenly short, because this is not something I want to play yarn checking with, because a round like this is like, it takes an hour to go through. So genuinely, what I really should do is I'm just gonna pick up my weight scale. Just give me a moment, please. It's just over there. Because yeah, obviously, I really do not want to play yarn taking with this one. Hell no. Not when it's so long. And I stopped weaving in ends, so I have some ends I need to weave in here and there. I decided it was probably for the safer to do it all in one go when I got there. I did do a little bit. I should have weighed this before when I added this, but I didn't. But for funsies, let's just try to keep a little bit track of what we're doing. I do know that I can at least do a row back and forth. It's probably like 3 or 4 rows to go on this. Maybe, I guess. Yeah, 3 is a good guess. I should maybe actually be so kind to put you guys on a look with me. Hello, hello. Wonderful to see you. We are on the dual camera view here and we are heading down, 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 down. My post-it notes for my yarn weight. Let's technically I'd rather have it like this, but there isn't really room for it, so we will have to do it sideways, but that's okay. Let's just zero it for a minute. I weigh in grams for those being curious, because we are doing metrics in Europe's. And let's see, it is though with the yarn like label around, we have 44 grams. But we do have less than a row to go, so that is worth keeping in mind. But at the end of this row, we'll weigh it up again, just to compare. And of course, I write down how much we have, because else there is no need to do this, because I'll forget. As I said, we have reached the end of this, which is probably at least a gram of yarn, or 2 or 3, I don't know. But we will see how much we have used once we got to the other end, and we'll make an assessment. I'll assess that we definitely have like this row and then 2 more to go, but it could be more. It could be more. And obviously, to keep in mind, the label does have some weight as well, but I will rather not remove the label, because it does actually keep the yarn a little bit intact and in place, so it doesn't collapse. So I'd rather not remove the label. Good morning, Revenant. I hope you're having a great day. And for those that joined late, this is how much we have left. I think, yeah, it's visible. So it's not much. It's not much. It is really the home stretch. 44 grams, including the label. So let's just say maybe 40 excluding. I don't know. And what do I estimate goes on around? 10, 12 grams maybe in total. Though this round is kind of started. I should have done this before, but I don't know. I wasn't my right self when I did that. So I did get a bit further this week, obviously, but not as much as I would have desired. I guess the steam kind of went off when I realized I wouldn't reach to finish this for August, which was kind of the ultimate goal. And then I've just been busy doing stuff that's also kind of important for real life aspects. I can't crochet all the time. The sad truth. Wish I could, but I cannot. Size-wise, the project is now also slowly so big that I kind of tend to have it laying all the way around, just for easiness of things. Let's see, am I a little bit too light for you guys? Because I do see my skin goes quite light up, so I don't know. I will first go a little bit lighter, then I'll go back darker, because that is just how this works. That is quite dark, isn't it? Maybe like this. I think this is better. At least for my hands, it's not super shiny. Ronan says, finished my coffee and just chilling like a villain. Okay, that sounds good. Finished your last project, finally, the one you were working on last week, which you had to frog back a whole horrible long way. I need to put the yarn on this side so I don't snag on it under my hand and arm. It's not handy when it gets caught in yourself when you're trying to pull it. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit better this afternoon, but just to make sure, I don't know if I have been drinking too little, even though I had a drunk reasonably well yesterday, or it's just my body screaming for the treatment I had yesterday at the physiotherapist. Could be, not impossible. Yeah. So last week Friday, I had an appointment with my specialist. As some of you know, I do have yeah, Jesus. Let's see if I can find that again, the English term for it. I get it all in Danish now, of course. No, there it is. Spondylitis ankylopathica, fancy one. It's basically it's like a rheumatoid arthritis in my spine, and we were sitting there talking about everything, like how is it going lately? Do we need to change meds, or are we still good on your meds? How are you feeling? Blah 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 blah. And then at some stage, she asks this question. I do have a female specialist. She asked this, so how do you feel? Any stiff tendons? And I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I do have stiff tendons, especially in my feet. Like when I get up in the morning, um, it takes at least like 15 minutes, half an hour for my feet to feel a bit like normal to walk on. Like they're so stiff. So while we've probably for 2 or 3 years have been thinking that I have plantar fasciitis, which is like an inflammation in the tendons of the foot plates, but they haven't been able to visibly find anything. I've had X-rays, I've echoes, everything, and the hospital is just being like, "Yes, miss, we believe you have pain, but we cannot see why you have pain. Like we can't find a medical reason for it." Now my conclusion is basically it's probably my rheumatoid arthritis that's messing up my tendons, as well as, of course, in the sense of my feet, probably a combined fact of this, these 40 pounds that I need to remove again, which I gained over the years of the COVID. So that's pretty much it. And my physiotherapist kind of confirmed me on that. If it's not showing your hands, it's probably showing your feet. And I'm like, I don't have issues with my hands, luckily. I'm so happy, but I'm actually also not happy that they're bothering my feet. So that could be the reason. Maybe that is the reason that I'm looking for. So it's a combination of the two. On temporary timeout, I had one more skein of yarn of the variegated to add, but I ordered a skein of solid eggplant sparkle for the yarn for the border. Oh, that sounds nice. Hey, Rikke, lovely to see you, lady. I have a few things I will need to work on come Tuesday. 2 make-along projects, and I know the speed at which I crochet. I will not be quick enough to finish another skein before that. I can relate to that. I was optimistic about this project, but fairly sad I did not crochet as much as I could have done this weekend. Henceforth, that I never, and at some stage, I just realized I wouldn't be able to make it, right? I think sometimes Saturday evening, I was like, okay, if I crochet all of Sunday and only crochet all of Sunday, I might be able to finish it. And I'm like, okay, I won't be crocheting all of Sunday because, you know, the weekend is also just when I have to spend time with my partner, and do other things that I don't do during a normal everyday. So yeah, and then pace kind of went down and just took a break. I guess I needed it. But yes, I can understand the not wanting to have a skein that's 3/4 finished to be put aside for a better week. I definitely also can understand that choice. This week is the cardigan make along, and this is the sleeves, so I want to get those on the hook ASAP. Oh, that's nice. I am still curious for the final look. I assume we will get a nice view once you're done of the final project. Definitely looking forward to see that. Meanwhile, yeah, here I'm just hooking along to see where we will end. I am on an increase row. We are actually so far that we have 9 double crochets on each side here. Well, it's not an increase. It should be an increase row. Wait a minute. That's the previous increase row. 2, 4, 6, 8. 4, 6, 8. That's the wrong one. That's why. This one looks better. Yes, it's an increase row. So I'm doing 9 double crochets on each side now. When we are up at the real fans. The week 2 front panels I will share in a minute. Will I reach to finish it today? I hope so, but I do not know. Let's see. First, we will have to grab the link, which pops up here, and then I'll pop over here. This is mainly for those that is not on a computer where they can easily just pop between the stream and whatnot. This is how the cowl is currently looking with the front panels on. Looking good. Looking good. Definitely. I am looking forward to see the final version of this. Meanwhile, I see we do have a few other watchers in here who's not said hello yet. I do hope that you will hang around and say hello at some stage. If you haven't done yet, don't forget to grab something to drink, because we all need our hydration. Today I'm rocking the lemonade and the tea, just to make sure that I have enough liquids. Then, of course, I can already prepare you guys that next week I will not be live because I will be in Denmark. I am leaving, and I will be there for a small week, and it's gonna be good, I hope. Ooh, tangly, tangly. I do have a few things I need to do before leaving. So there's that. There's that. Still need to find a new project. I am still considering what yarn and what project. Let's see, that is a non-increase row to bring, but I do have a really good idea. But I need to decide on a new shawl, to be honest, a new shawl pattern once this is done. And I have plenty of cakes to choose between, but I just like have a shawl going, so that is something I do need to do. I have some adorable blue wooden owl buttons for this that I got from Hobbii right before the orange mayonnaise tariffs kicked in. I love this word, orange mayonnaise tariffs kicked in. Added 30% to any Hobbii order, so I probably won't be getting any more Hobbii. And yeah, that is that's horrible. They were doing it for like what, half a year, I think, as a start. It's also the reason that I was ready for a bunch of things, and that's kind of been put on hold temporarily. Now I am gonna hopefully, maybe this week, get some things ready and prepared for it. I hope. And that would be really, really awesome. But yeah, he definitely messed up a lot of things for a lot of people. And I do really hope they conclude that it's going to cost them more than it's actually bringing in. Because in that event, there is a chance that after this 6 months, they will remove them again. One can hope. One can hope. In my case, like I used to, and I've also done as late as when I had my anniversary, podiversary actually this spring, to sometimes do giveaways with Jan. And I sent worldwide for those because I think it's fair for everyone. I absolutely hate watching a giveaway video and then being told it's only for this in this country or it's only for these in these states. Like, right? I'm like, yeah, well, that's not cool. Do it worldwide. Be fair to everyone. I get it's expensive, but then just chose not to. But right now I can't because obviously the US people, they are unable to receive. And if they would be able to receive, they'll have to pay like way much more than probably the yen is even worth. That's just not going to happen. So, yeah. This orange minutes here, man, is making a lot of trouble time for everyone. He really messed people's habits up, didn't he? Which is, I guess, what he wanted to do, change buyer habits, or hope that you and me, regular people, will pay for his issues. Oh, this is not happening. Okay. Not to bring too much politics into a chill crafting stream, but the terrorists are the least of the things the tin pot dictator is attempting to. Yeah, I know, it's crazy nightmare. He's in a tinfoil hat. And I'm not the keen person of politics either, but I can at least tell from an economical point of view that what he's trying to do is not the best steps ahead. It's not solving his issues. Oh goodness, sorry, my yarn tangled around the box, so that's why it did so funky when I was pulling on it. But yeah, so let's not talk about that dude because it just makes us all frustrated. Unless, of course, you're one of those that's in favor. But I spoke to. I actually spoke to an American a couple of months ago. We were on the same train on the way to Copenhagen, and I've had a hard time grasping why one would choose something that was like from previous experience really not a good option. And she said to me that she thinks the issue with the last elections was that there were too many people not wanting a female president, let alone one who was not Um, this is not to be racist or anything, but one that wasn't straight Caucasian. So a combination of the two, and therefore they found that he was the only better option. And here's what I think is the main flaw about the US voting system, because you only have two choices. There is no more than that. There is only two choices, I guess, unless the crazy Musk gets his thing through. But the fact that there is only two choices is a really weird concept for me. In the Netherlands, I think they have like, I don't know, 14, 15 different parties that we can choose from, and they can all theoretically become our new prime minister. That is, if their party have enough votes, and they can make enough agreements with all the other parties that might have some of the same politics when they create the government. Short version. And that seems much more logic, to be honest. That people have a few more choices to choose between than just being like you're either Democrat or you're a Republican. Reg is going to pick up her son. Well, I will see you later, lady. Take care and have a safe drive picking him up. In good news, my monthly stitch group is meeting tomorrow night, so that will be nice. Oh, that's awesome. Would you like do cakes and coffee and all of the shizzle also as well? Because that sounds really cozy. Like a local craft group would be kind of nice to have. Sometimes I'm thinking we should just have a local yarn store in the city with other yarns than the classic cheap ones, and then one could basically come there and craft and have a cup of tea, and one could hang out. That would be kind of nice, right? Help one another, etc. I could really see that for me. But yeah, would it happen? I don't know. Try imagine having a local place where you could get a decent cup of coffee or tea or whatever hot drink, beverage, and do your craft with some friends, and you could meet locally at a cafe. But you could also buy yarn there, the yarn cafe. My goodness. I already see a store in front of me. Except I am so not a person who wants to be bound by running a store with store set prices and all that, store set times. But I do like the idea. I really do like the idea. I would probably pop in there like once a week if I had the opportunity. It's a meeting room at the local library, so food and drink are not really allowed. Oh, yeah, no, that's not. That's not good, no. They do also meet up at local restaurants once a month as well, but I'm weird about having my projects near food, mostly because I do large blankets. That makes sense. But I do assume you have like either coffee or tea or whatever beverage next to you um, when you're working on them. But on the other hand, the blanket I'm working on currently, um, which I haven't been worked on more or less all of August because it's been too warm. I don't see myself bringing it with me somewhere as fast. Actually, it's never left the house. Only time that yarn was in travel was probably from the yarn store and home to me. Reality. Um, okay, we are getting there, so I'm curious to see. I'm estimating when we weigh the yarn that it's probably used, let's say, half as much extra as what the weight says based on how much I'd worked already. Don't forget to drink if you do have drinks next to you. But we will see when we get there. I do need to remember myself, this is an increase row. So it works slightly of a little bit different because I need to increase. This is the last chain space. There we work in 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets before we enter this increase region. Normally I would skip 4 stitches, but due to the increase I only skip 3. And then we should have 7 double crochets all the way up the side. And then in the center we do again 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then 7 double crochets down the other side. And then we only skip 2 stitches between. And that is basically how the, I would say it's almost like a feather shape you get up there, which is kind of cool. So there should be 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. There is. My goodness, I did good counting today. Then we go down the other side. I do realize I need to probably move a little bit because that is the wrong direction. I need to move this direction. Who would have thought? I should have known if I had thought logic about things. The project does look a bit dark though, but my hands look less. I do apologize for the lighting I do have. It is also a bit dark outside. They said it was going to rain sometime today, but I haven't seen the rain yet. Maybe our weatherman can tell us. It is a Nightbot. Nightbot is here and has made his presence known, so we should know if we type in weather and then your either local city, zip code, state. We should get an estimate. So is everyone enjoying the shift into a more autumnal weather? Brisk 32 yesterday, almost sweater weather. My goodness, 32 degrees. I would be in a top and shorts. Because that is sweltering hot to me, my friend. The conditions for Nijmegen, which is the local city here, about 10 minutes drive away. It's 22 degrees of Fahrenheit. Oh, well, sorry, 72 degrees Fahrenheit or 22 degrees Celsius. It is cloudy and the wind is blowing from south at 70 miles per hour. It's windy. Humidity is 64. Yeah, don't forget to give this stream a little thumbs up. It does help promoting me for absolutely free. And I definitely can use your support. Life is uncertain. Since I do love my job, but I don't have a permanent contract with the company, which means that I, at best, get an extension, which is towards the end of November, that it will expire unless extended. So let's see what they will do. That said, I do believe it's reasonable to assume that an extension will come. Because my colleague who has been on maternity leave, and we have basically exact same job description, similar responsibilities and tasks. As I said, she was on maternity leave. That is one of the reasons. One of the reasons I know that I got hired, obviously, to help cover for that. But also, when she's coming back, she will not be working as many hours as she used to before. So there is a plausibility here that that obviously that I will keep it. That should be fine. But I don't know yet before I'm informed of so. But I will definitely be happy to stay with them because it's a nice job and it's really great to combine with everything that's going on in life right now. Oh my goodness! Look, we have a yarn bath. I need to find my needle to help unravel this a bit. 32 is a nice break from 40 plus. Yeah, I definitely do agree with you on that one, but I won't agree that it's cold. It's still warm. It's just not as warm. Um, do not yarn bath on me. It's not cool. That was better. Always darning needles can be really good. And this one at yarn baths, you know, because it's four-stranded, that's not fun. In New Jersey, the weather conditions are sunny. Send some sun here. I'd love it. I'd had a bit of sun yesterday. Conditions are sunny with a temperature of 95 degrees Celsius, which is 15 degrees of Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from northeast at 2 miles per hour. Current humidity is 95. 95 is like humid. Did it just rain? Or are rain coming ahead? Because that sounds like it should be raining while it's sunny. But yeah, so the goal would be really awesome if you could finish this one today. But I'll be honest and say I don't know if we will pull it off. I am trying to though, just because it would be cool. And then we need to look at patterns for my next project. I could consider just doing that when I get home from Denmark for my next shawl. Could look at patterns together. Then I would only need to find a cake to work with. That could be cool too. I'd definitely be open to that option at least. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 9. Awesome. So far it is progressing as planned. The weather in Waco, Texas are fair with a temperature of 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from northwest at 5 miles per hour. Current humidity is 84. And that is at 7:45 a.m., which is definitely, yeah, not nice. That should be around the coldest, right? Like, you know, the coldest is like what, 5 or 6 in the morning. We call it um, tropic, exotic nights when we have above 20 degrees Celsius in the night. But we are also on the globe scale a bit further north. It's just humid. Oh goodness. Yeah, I can imagine. So that's like a sticky feeling. I do not fan of humid. I think none of us are. And that is also why I generally rather have 40 degrees or 35 degrees for that matter in Spain than I'd have 35 degrees in the Netherlands, because the Netherlands is more humid than Spain. And when it's not as humid, it doesn't feel as warm, even though it is. So that has everything to say, basically. I made a yummy spinach and cheddar omelette for breakfast. Oh, I'll jump over the cheddar, but the rest sounds good. I made salmon spinach cream pasta last week for dinner. This week, or today, we're actually having some leftovers. I do have a soup from yesterday that I'm gonna heat up. It is a creamy curry soup with some chickens and lots of different veggies. And because it's creamy, so I did, I used a blender to smoothen it up. Now I know what I missed in it. Oh well, it's too late now. Can't fix that. But now I know why the taste is slightly off compared to what normally is, because I normally tend to add a little bit of broth, like a soup broth, those cubes to kind of help you taste it up a bit. I forgot that when I was making it yesterday. Crickets. But it contains, oh my goodness, what's that called in English? I don't know. Let me find Google Translate for you guys a minute. But there is carrots, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and it has. I wonder if this is a word. Let me check. Parsnips would probably be the right one, maybe. It's a sort of a parsnip. It's like elongated parsnip. A little bit like looks a little bit like a carrot. And it's white. And then I have in curry and some, oh my goodness, it's another very yellow spice, plus also a can of coconut milk and chicken. But the chicken didn't get blended up, so it all got smoothened up, and then salt and peppers. But it all got smoothened up, and then the chicken was added to the soup. And I'm actually quite hungry for it right now. It is getting autumn, so that is getting more soup time for us. So I'm not a big soup eater in the summer. It's just too warm. But in the winter, I do like a good cup of soup. And this one is good because it's filled with veggies, right? So it's like just knocks a few extra tones on the health aspects. Megan asked me if I think I'll work on the hat collector shawl. I should at some stage. Yes, I should. I have two yarns. Actually, I have two sort of. I've ordered and have in my stash. So I bought would be correct because it is in my stash. I have some of the Hobbii twister cakes and the solid twisters that I want to use for the hat collector shawl. And I also have some of my pletter yarns that I want to use for the hat collector shawl. So I have to make two hat collector shawls. And the real question is if and when I should probably start working on that. But I really should. I really should, shouldn't I? I could consider basically saying, okay, we'll just do hat collector shawl, and that is gonna be I don't know, during lives only or whatever. That could be an option. Do we want like a project we only work on during the lives? We could. But yeah, as said, I really should get going on that. I just need to decide which of them. I think the Hobbii twister yarns that I have for it will make for a little bit smaller sized shawl because I'm more likely to use a smaller sized hook. Or I'll just go with the full acrylic and the muffins. Exactly. I have the pletter muffins that I want to use for it. Ah, you wanted to see if the pattern was difficult. I don't think so. My impression is it's not much more difficult than the Ultimate Sacrifice shawl because they do resemble one another a bit. And yeah, I do have a couple of muffins too for the project. I'm just realizing the amount of yarns that I was thinking of putting in would almost make it a blanket rather than a shawl, maybe. So I am debating if what I should do, if I should do the another other option first. It's I haven't read through the pattern, but just from the base views, I don't think it's super advanced. I do think you need to be able to count. But it doesn't seem super difficult, to be honest. Oh yeah, I had onions in it as well, by the way. I did have the reminiscences of a small red onion plus a scarlet onion. Been doing a chicken and rice kind of paella dish with garlic, ginger, chicken bouillon, parsley, cumin, smoked paprika, turmeric. Turmeric was the word I was missing, I think. Turmeric and curries. Sage, salt, pepper, and bay leaf. Oh my goodness, you guys are making me hungry. Everything has just gotten so expensive, honestly, when doing groceries. It's really crazy. We do going to make baked. Yeah, they call it a schrotel. So I'm not really sure how to translate this into English. But it's like probably direct translation could be a dish. We have great cooking inspirations. When we're not crocheting, we love to cook here on this channel. I guess. At least I'm hungry for food, always is. What would it be translated to? Dish, basically. Dish platter would be the most direct. So what I am gonna do is a leek platter, translated straight to leek platter, leek dish, which is actually also like a curry thing. But it's made in these trays. You put them into the oven. What are they called? Like big baking tray. You put it into the oven. And it contains I'll need like 2 big leeks. I'll need 2 pounds or so. No, not a pound of potatoes, but they have to be that sliced potatoes. I need minced meat. I need some of the thingy, which is basically a sachet. Now, I guess I should pick it up for you guys as well now when we're sitting here just talking about it. Give me a minute, because I actually have it laying over here. More because, oh, wait a minute. Before my yarn flops away. But I have it laying here in the kitchen because I am going to make it later this week. And there's a little photo of how it looks like on it. So, and it's because of the herbs I hear with in this bag. So this is like basically what it is. You get the herbs or the spices in this bag. It says here for grocery list, I need 500 grams of prei, which is a leek. So that's like 2 big leeks basically. It says 1 bell pepper. We do not do the bell pepper here in the family because both me and my partner do not like them. A good pound of sliced potatoes. You can't do slicing themselves, or you can buy them sliced up already, actually, here in the Netherlands, which is basically those round ones you see there. And then it says 300 grams of minced meat, 1 egg, and 250 milliliters of cooking cream. And that's basically it. And then this thingy. And then the instructions are on the back on how to do it. And then it's in those kind of, and it goes into the oven for like, let's see. It says it takes 55 minutes to make. It's going to be all Friday evening dinner. 45 minutes it goes into the stuff, into the oven. Okay, so where did we get at? This got twisted. Just give me a minute to untwist it like this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I need to chain 2. It's a casserole. Yeah, that could be a casserole. That's definitely a likelihood. Looks delicious. Yes. In English, that would be a casserole, pronounced cas-o-roll. Unless you're a heathen from Midwest, and then it's a hot dish, but we don't talk about the Midwest. Yeah, well, in Dutch, they call it a schotel. There you go. Schotel, schotel. Yes, a schotel. A casserole would then be a schotel in Dutch. Yep. So we all learned something new today. Casserole, that would be the right word. Google Translate did not provide me with that, so I am disappointed, but I think that would be a fair set. That it would be a casserole. And given the size of this, and we're just a 2-person household, we will have leftovers Saturday. One more stitch, and then we'll go to the next side. Looking at the yarn, I think doing 2 more rows is definitely realistic. The 3rd row, I'll be in doubt if we will be able to pull that off. I think we will need to be happy to do 2 more. And I'll be happy with that. It's definitely gotten to a decent size. And blocking it will just stretch it just that little bit further. But yeah, the ultimate collector's shawl, well, what should I say, the ultimate shawl here, ultimate sacrifice. But the hat collectors, yes, I do need to get started on that at some stage. I just need to really decide which chance that I want to use up first of those 2 options. Choices, choices, choices. I'll probably need to get like I don't know, I'll probably need to get real photos because I don't think this camera gives 100% true representation. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And if I do the hat collector shawl, I will need to do some yarn cutting regardless, because I'll be combining multiple different cakes. At least if I'm doing it the way I was considering doing it. Yep. But I've done it here too, to be able to extend the length of the cake because I was able to do so. That's worked reasonably well, as long as I pay attention when I weave ends. That's why I haven't weaved in the last, I think, 2 or 3 joins in, because I'm like, okay, I'll do that at the very end. So when I hold it up here, you will maybe see a few strands here and there. So please bear that in mind. And I will definitely hold it up before we finish today, so you can see how far we got. But I kind of hope we can finish it before then. That would be really, really cool. But let's be realistic. We have 2 hours. Will I be able to actually finish this in 2 hours? Maybe if we don't get too much distracted. Unless, of course, the yarn tells me that there won't be enough left for 1 row. Or it says that I can do another 3 rows after this, then yeah, then that's definitely a no-go. Because right now it seems like it's going to take me a good solid hour to do 1 row, which is like not fun if I have to frog it. I do not want to calculate the amount of time to frog, right? I'm going to the Aldi soon. Thanks for the ideas. You're very welcome. The Aldi is a German store in that sense. And I have heard about these yarn store events from Aldi in the UK, but I've never seen it in our Dutch stores. So it's not a Dutch thing, I guess, to do those yarn events. I've seen them a few times with the yarns, but it's not really been yarn where I'm like, oh, I have to own this. Or it's an amazing price, I gotta buy it. Nope, nope, nope. Not for me. On the other hand, I really need to clear out some space in the home. Pretty sure casserole is a French loanword, but English is a mongrel language. It's taking word from half a dozen of more other languages. Even the British versus American vocabulary is rather different. Valid. Megan asks if I know what colors. Okay. For my muffins from the Pletta brand, I have some oranges and reds. And those are really like the very big muffins. So we're talking about the 2,400 meter skeins, which was like thinking to combine two of plus some red. So like oranges combined with the red center. And then I have the Hobbii Twister. I do believe it's called Ruab or something like that. I will have to check on the Hobbii website what the color is called. And then I have a red solid to go with it. Let's see, what is it called? Now you're asking me. So every time I get distracted, don't expect me to finish this one. We'll have to wait soon though, that said. Just to get an estimate how far we will get. Twist. Because I really do not remember the colorway. Let's just jump over to the Hobbii shopping site. It doesn't sound too bad, but the prices of the tariffs are first calculated at checkout, right? Because I'm like, this seems like more or less the old prices. This one, Rhubarb and Cream. I have 3 of these. And then I have like a solid red from the regular twisters. Don't they have these in the like so I have 3 of these of the Rhubarb Cream twisters, plus I have I do have the wine, I believe. And I have red, which is currently sold out, but it's in my stash upstairs. And then I have a friend's wheel, I believe. Let's pop over here. This is a gorgeous color, that cognac. I do believe it's a Bordeaux. I don't think I have the tomato. I think it's a Bordeaux. Or is it the tomato? What? They're already discontinuing colors. Oh, fuck tarts. I hate when they do that. Sorry for my language. That was not nice. But I have one of those 4 reds. Actually, I have 3 of them, I think. Or do I have one of 4? I have 3 or 4 of them. Because I'm not concerned, it's 400 meters. I can always find matching colors. I can make some sort of nice different work up. So that's one option. And if we go to Pletta, and we'll have to do this in English. They just had a sale, and I was inching and itching for buying yarn, I tell you that. But I didn't. I'm proud. See, they're still having sale. Oh my goodness. Let's move on. Yarn cakes. Oh, it's because they start all the way down here. Let's see. I have a single tweet too. Muffin Magic Drops is not what I have. It is the muffin, not the impression. Regular muffin, and I think one of them could be their Muffin Fresh. I hope that's not the price for the pattern, because that sounds expensive, my friends. They're having Christmas selection back. Oh, it's a limited edition muffin. That could be too. Let's go have a look at them. As I say, it's like 430 grams and it's 2,000 meters. So I have like 2 cakes of these in orange colors. I like this one, but that's new one since I was shopping last time. So it's not in here, so it wasn't a regular one. Let's look at the fresh. No. Is it limited edition? Did they sell them out? Don't they sell them anymore? It's not impossible, by the way. This one I know, but I am missing the other one. Oh, it's because I only see all of those in stock. So we have to click that on. That we probably need to do with the rest too. Show all of the types they have. I don't think it's a fresh looking at how the colors are set together here. I have this one in my stock, by the way. Love to make a baby blanket in this one. Saying the woman that doesn't make blankets. And then I should probably also have an option here for all of the other yarns. This is kind of nice. I have this one, but I have one that is more orange all the way through. And right now I do not see it. Oh, it's not that one. It's not here. Maybe it's a limited edition that got sold out. Like, not made anymore. And I have this one. That's the red I have. So I'll like pull the red center from this one. And actually I bought 2 of these because I could pull the red center and then I have one whole for a different project, because that's just how I am. But yeah, I have one that's more like the full orange all the way through. I believe I do have this one somewhere, but I have one that's more like really all the way through orange. I just can't find it except for this one. But it's like basically like this one, but it goes from light orange into even more darker oranges than here. But it's not in their store anymore, so it's probably not being made anymore. It's not impossible. So that's basically the options I have for the Heart Collector shawl at some stage. And no matter which of the options I choose, I will need to sit and dissect yarns. Obviously, I will have to dissect less with the muffin yarns. So that may be the inclination to make it quicker in the muffin yarns than in the twister. But I am still a bit undecided as to 1 other 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. End of this row. I just need to do the treble crochet. Revenant, none of those cakes are wool. They are all acrylic or acrylic cottons. The red is really gorgeous. That is why I decided that it would be a perfect match for the orange, because I'd like the heart to really like pop out from the rest, but still be in a color tone that matches, if that makes sense. Okay, so that was basically it. And then we'll weigh on. My estimate is that, as I said, the half of the number I'll be getting, I don't even know if it's visible enough for you guys. Of course not, when I move it around, I should know that. Is that I will have to, like, let's say I decrease 10 grams, I'll probably need to count that as 15, because I already worked about a third of the yarn consumed. Plus, I need to remember I have the label, so I really genuinely think we have a max of 2 rows here. It says 35. So that's 9. That means that my estimate would be, so I spent 9 grams from when I weighed plus whatever the third about I made. So that's probably 5 grams on top, which means 30. So that's like 14 grams. No more increases to be made, but we may have to cut it close doing 2 more rounds. But one is yeah, that's probably cutting it close. I don't know how much label there weighs, but we'll definitely have one more round, which we'll do. And then after doing that round, I'm actually gonna suggest to remove the label and like let's weigh the yarn, then remove the label and weigh the yarn and see how much is left. Right now we have been weighing with labels, so removing it now is not gonna be a super great indicator. Of course I can remove that for the next, but I'm really afraid if I remove the label right now that the whole cake will collapse, so I'm trying not to do that. So we might just have one row to go. In that event, we will definitely finish on this live. Oh, happy days, happy days. Oh, that's probably like the tweed is a wool acrylic blend, which is really nice, by the way. I have some of those. Let's see. Let's pop over here. The muffin tweed is merino wool. Has some merino wool in it. And I have this red one in my stash. And it is so gorgeous. Oh, they have a new darker red. Chocolate-ish red. Nah, I still like this one better. If I need to make a choice. I also would love to get this one. I think this is gorgeous. Or this one. Oh my goodness. They have some really nice. Or this one is a nice soft one. But yeah, I have not worked with this one yet. I just have one in my stash. And it's not all of them. This is all of them. I don't see all of them. I'm no fan of that coloration. Oh yeah. But yeah, I have this one in my stash. I think that's the only tweed I have. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you can't work at it. I am usually doing okay with wool and woolen textures, depending. I have to say, if the yarn gets too thin, it's not always too easy to work with, especially not for the crochet. Like I did an alpaca shawl last summer, and that was on the edge of being too thin to be comfortable to work with. Let's put it like this. It was not the easiest to work with. So, oh, don't split on me. So yeah, I may have my concerns if we will get all the way through 2 rows on this by looking. We may only have to be able to pull it this last row. So this, my friends, may be our very last row. It depends on how much that label weighs and how much it says we have used when we get to the end of this row. We will have to assess if I want to attempt yarn chicken or not. And I usually don't play yarn chicken if I'm very much in doubt. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So that was the right one. So we did and finish our increases. We do have a single increase at the very end, at the very tip here, but that is quite little yarn compared to the Welma, so I'm not too worried about that. I am not too worried about that. First, I'm just gonna see if we can get through this and actually finish it. So if I will not be like, if we have like 1 or 2 grams extra compared to what is needed to make a full row, that is when I'm willing to try the yarn chicken. But if it's going to be the exact same, I am not sure if it's worth a full hour just to see if I can add one row. Then I might rather just put it into my pile of scrap yarns. I have a little pile of scrap yarns where they will fit in just nice. Oops. Who knows? I may end up make a scrap basket or something like that from those scrap yarns. Four, 6, 8. Oh, wait a minute. I am doing one extra. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We need to frog. I need to skip 4 stitches, not 2. It's because I've been so used to that from the previous row. We redo. Else whatever I'm doing definitely don't match up anymore. I was in such a nice mode. Yeah. Here we go. So yeah, I'm actually quite curious when we get to the end of the row to see if can we really do one more or not. We may very well not be able to. And if that's the case, that is fine. I'm kind of okay also if we can finish this one. That would be so awesome. Means that I can knit for the rest of the day. No, not. And tomorrow. Oh, that was one too many again. Oh my goodness. Continuing like this won't make me finish. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 2. Good. Skip 4. So 2, 4 over here. The real question is also if I'll have time to block this one before I leave. I probably won't. Then I'll probably just say, okay, I'll do it when I get home. From Denmark, that is. Because reality is I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday left, and I do have things that I really need to do on those days that also takes priority. And even if I may have some time to do it Saturday, I won't have it time enough to remove and so on before I leave. And my partner will not be happy if it's taking up the whole floor space while I'm not even here. So I will option to do that when I get back regardless. That is how it has to be. Two, 4, 6, 8, 9. Skip 4. Continue. So yeah, I could really consider making a baby blanket with one of the acrylics I have of the Biff muffins. I think that could work up nice, you know, with a 2000 meter cake. But the thing is, blankets, not my forte. Well, it's the ultimate sacrifice shawl, so compromises must be expected. True, true. The sacrifice in this case would be not to have it blocked before I get back from Denmark. So that's gonna be mid-September first, because I'll be gone for a week. I'm leaving Sunday, and I'll first be back the following Saturday. And it could very well be that we have plenty of things to do on the Sunday. I don't know yet. Then it's gonna be during the week. Um, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, so I have a crazy amount of cakes in my stash. So there's plenty of shawls to choose between for new projects. And then the real question is if we shall make a project that's really only for the stream, or if we shall have a project that I can also work on when we're not streaming. In that event, there will be two, obviously, because there will then be a stream project on an on-stream project. On the other hand, I think it's nice with some variation. Right now, it just happens to be shawls because I really want to finish this guy. And you guys want to see him finished as well. When I was in Hobbii last time, I was so disappointed that while they had all the seasonal yarns on their website, they apparently don't have them in their physical store, not in this one. That did definitely disappoint me a little because I kind of hoped to physically see them. Oh well. Yarn split. Time to redo. For me, the project the streamer is working on is not really the draw, it's more the casual conversation. Fair enough. Which is true, right? I really enjoy just hanging out with you guys. And I guess it's also a nice place to just get rid of my thoughts. 4, 6, 8, 9. That's social time. Most definitely social time. I do have a bunch of very lovely blue acrylic that I think could be awesome for a bigger project. But again, I need to find it. So yeah, I don't necessarily sometimes it's fun to have something you just a credit just to do during the stream. I know like Amanda from Scraptastic Crochet at some stage, she had this scrap basket project where she let the watchers help choose the color changes 2, 4, 6, 9, which I thought was a genius idea, actually. Or if I were to do something, I could do it like with a dice. The dice gets to choose when you change color, so to say. Crafting can be a bit lonely as most of us are the only crochet knitter in our home, so most of the time we're working by ourselves, so it's nice just to hang out with some other yarnies. That's true. I have to say, when my mom have her good days when I'm in Denmark, we can sometimes sit and craft together, so that's kind of nice. And I guess that's also why last Christmas, like my aunt and my mom and me and my cousin, we were like all knitting or crocheting. I think they were mainly knitting and I was the only one crocheting, but still, we did that. And needless to say, the rest of the family, or at least my partner, thought it was not very social and not very fun. So I will need to promise to not be too crafty during the actual event this year. Traveling time and so on is fine, but I will also need to be physically available in the sense of mentally and not just focused on whatever craft I'm working on. So that's fair enough. But yeah, that's true. Cheers, by the way. I should probably, next time I take some liquids, have a taste of the tea that I made. It's definitely cooled down a bit. After an hour, they're usually good to drink in the thermos. And this time I need to remember to bring my thermos to Denmark 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 because I forgot it last time. I had bought it, it was ready. It was literally next to some other things that I did remember bringing with me. And I still managed to forget it, which was kind of embarrassing. So that is my goal this time around. I need to bring it. Oh yeah, we are moving on nicely. I have to say my shirt matches nicely today. With the lighter blues. Ta-ta! Really does. Not that I thought about that when I selected my clothing this morning. That's been merely a coincidence. I do apologize, but I do need to lean back for it. So what I need to do is probably pop this one up a little bit for better view for you guys. I think that was a bit better. Maybe like this. Oh, didn't want to open this. So what are people working on today? As I said, I'm just cranking on this shawl. And then it will have its pending block when I get home from Denmark. But finishing this one sometime today is definitely realistic, just not necessarily during the live. Or maybe it is. It really depends on how much yarn this round reduces and how much I will have left after removing the label, but let's measure when we get there. Oh, that was one too many. One stitch too many. Here we good. Here we good. I'm doing an autumnal granny square. I have 36 squares made for the throw. I'm making it 9-inch in a 6 square by 7 square pattern. That sounds nice. I've made a granny squares, but I've never made a granny square blanket, to be honest. I somehow omitted those. Which I guess I'm fine about. I've done 4, 6, 8, 9. Good. The simplicity I like. I do have some things planned, but that is next week. I actually have a pattern laying around for a bag where the top part have granny squares incorporated. I just haven't gotten around making it yet. Maybe I should this autumn. Maybe I should. Do, 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 do. You know what? This was the last of the fans or feathers. I'm not really sure what I want to call these pointy ends. Fans and feathers, kind of like a bit like a feather of the phoenix, except this is a quite cold phoenix. And let's try the tea if it's actually now drinkable. I just need to make a little bit of room. It is drinkable. Lovely black tea with some rose petals, dried rose petals. A Chinese black tea. We are heading over to watch again, so let's have a look. Ta-ta! This is what Revenant is working on. The autumnal granny square. I love these colors. And you're a fan of caking up your yarn too, I see. I'm not sure if it's brown or black there in the center. And we have a lovely red and an orange, custody orange yellow. Do-do. Love the coloring. Final color of the side. Okay, yeah. 1.5 rows of granny clusters and 2 rows of singles and black yarn for the border. Chocolate brown. Okay, cool. Going for oak leaf on the branch. That makes nice sense. Definitely autumnal. I love the Hobbii Twister yarn that is having this autumnal look. Now when we actually do have Hobbii Twister open, just a different color, I'll go find the other one. Sen Garden it's named. And I swear to you, you can't see it from here, unfortunately. But this yarn, this particular cake, oh, it matches so damn well to my skin, my hair, and my eye colors. It's perfect. It's the same yarn that I made the leafy shawl in, which is also as a tutorial on my channel. For those that is curious, I could go ahead and find it and share it if you give me a moment. I could go ahead and find that one. I have that both right and left-handed. It just takes forever to load, of course. I think it's because a lot of things is going on, which is fair. I'm just gonna share you guys like the right-handed tutorial of it, and then in that there is also a link to the left-handed version. I believe, at least. I have the feeling this is not. Oh, well, it is, maybe. It is the right one. I just need to make sure I had the right link. There you go, for those that's curious. Because, yeah, it is gorgeous. And I noticed there was a flaw in another description, so I fixed that when I was busy in anyways. Okay, so now we are on the easy quick path, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets in each of these chain 2 spaces. So we will just crank along to get these done. If there's enough yarn to do another row, I can tell you already now that we won't finish it. If there isn't enough yarn to finish another row, we should be able to finish it this live. And of course, I will show you guys how it looks. I will regardless. But let's see. Hey Rikke, the shawl is coming along nicely. I am definitely right. It's going to be max 1 or 2 more rows. Right now, I think we might strand at this row. We will know in, I don't know, 45 minutes time if we will be able to add another row or not, because that is weigh time again. I am weighing the yarn because that is the safer way of playing yarn chicken. And given the fact that each row is like an hour plus to make, I really don't want to miss just a little bit and then conclude that I almost wasted an hour concluding that something I could have concluded with a weight scale. So I'll need at least 1 or 2 grams excess to want to make the gamble of doing the extra round. That is kind of my final decision, simply because it's such a long way around. That I don't want to take the gamble. It's an hour that I can spend doing other things, and I need to then value my time fairly. So, and I think I'm probably not the only one that would consider that. We have been discussing the Ultimate Sacrifice shawl, which is a shawl that I definitely want to make. And as I said, I do have yarns both. I have some platter cakes, so Stanley muffins, but I also have some Hobbii Twister yarns that I bought with intent to create this heart collector shawl. So I'm going to have to make 2 at some stage. But that is also going to be a project that's going to take a long time. So for that, and I'll definitely need to cut yarns and so on. So I just need to make a decision which to do. The benefit of the muffin part of that project, if I choose to use the platter yarns muffins, is that I will need to cut less yarn to finalize it compared to if I use the Hobbii Twisters, because I will be then combining multiple cakes to ensure the length or the size would get satisfactory. So yeah, that's a choice. If I want to do less yarn cutting, I would probably option for the muffin road. Revenant says, I mentioned this earlier, but your colors are amazing and it's well worth the extra effort in color controlling it. Most definitely, I agree. And these blues are gorgeous, but that the blues are gorgeous is something I will accredit to Hobbii for having this yarn. And I'm really happy for adding the extra length and color controlling it when adding the extra length. And I really have the feeling, because the thing is, the sensor coloring has shorter distance between the changes of the color than the very first and very end of the colors. So the dark blue that I'm working on now, the solid dark blue, navy blue, and the solid very light blue are longer than here where the gradient. And the extra yarn I had also included some gradients, so it made sense to also increase it because that will increase the period of over which the yarn gradients, and that will give a much nicer finish. So I'm actually quite happy that I ended up doing it like this instead of just doing the classic 800 meters cake that they had. I could definitely also option at some stage maybe to throw two cakes into one and then make one long version. Um, that would be an option, could be an option. But at the same time, I'm not that sold because I know then the colorations are so much difference on the length. At least not with this type of yarn. I'll probably option for another. A friend of mine made that shawl and it's beyond stunning. Yeah, the Hat Collectors is really gorgeous. I'm starting on the first sleeve for the sweater I'm making for my son's father. Knitting or crocheting? Mostly people do knit when they talk about sweaters, but I'll just double check. I have this sweater that I want, or t-shirt that I want to knit, but I need to be better at knitting before even attempting that. And I've been a good girl. I didn't buy the yarn yet. And the knitting pattern is probably more complex than my knitting skills. So I'm going to hope that they will still have and sell yarn once we get to a stage where I have the skills to do it. I think that is what we can conclude on this. But yeah. Crocheting the Dapper Dad pullover by MJ Off the Hook. Okay, Ravelry pattern, or where would I find this pattern if I wanted to check it out? I have a sweater I want to crochet as well, by the way, for myself. But I'm inclined to wait a little bit because of a little project I have, which is called trying to actually get around losing some weight. And right now my tummy tells me I am hungry, but I'm telling it, you gotta wait for dinner because you did have lunch. MJ Off the Hook. Designs, crochet patterns, popping over. Ta-ta! And what was it called? It was called Dapper Dad Pullover. Yeah, it's good cookies. Yeah, she makes gorgeous stuff. Genuinely, she does. I have a few which I'm like, I want to do too. Let's just check Ravelry just in case. Home, about, shop, no, block. Crochet garments. Yep, that would be valid. Grind stitch crochet cardigan, crochet grind stitch sweater, cascade, blah blah blah. Cobblestone men's crochet, Old Town sweater, sea glass. Oh, this is nice though. Caribbean tie tank top, shell shirt, crochet, blah blah blah. My goodness, she has way too many patterns for me to easily find this. Didn't I see it? Oh, there is a search. Why won't I just use the search? That would be so much quicker, right? Yeah, I did accept your cookies already. Oh. Boom. That was better. Oh, that's nice. I love this. And she does make some really nice patterns for sure. This is nice. Worked in the bottom up pieces and seamed together. Colors work separately, then seamed on the neck opening. That is nice piece. Cool. Love it. Yeah, she has some, she definitely has a few that I'm like, yeah, that could be nice. That could be nice. And I do have a few of her projects where I'm like, yes. I want to make that, but there's so many things I want to make and so little time. And as I said, I do have this intention of losing some weight. I was confronted yesterday by some people that could not believe when I told them how much weight I had gained over the past 5 years. They were like, how? But how, if I remove that from you, you're skin and bones. I'm like, I wasn't skin and bones. It's just been crawling on and been reasonably well, what would one say, distributed across my whole body. Fact is, the weight scale says that I did, so it's probably true. And my trouser sizes definitely tells me I did. But not as much as one would believe, because one was like, when they heard I'm talking about 40 pounds over this period, she was like, oh, but that's like 3 or 4 trouser sizes. I'm like, yeah, well, for me, it's 1.5. But that is because it's nicely evenly spread and distributed. So I guess I can say that I've been lucky on that account, but generally we want to get rid of it. So which is why I am happily going into the fitness center. The plan was to go later today, so after dinner actually, which I still think and plan to do. I still think it's a good idea. Thank you. Um, um, it's gonna be better for my body overall, so which is another reason I'm doing it. But yeah, it's been like, you can see it if you see old photos of me. Um, but yeah, now it's just about keeping focus on doing it, and I will. Boom. I am going to be persistent now. And given there are so many other projects I want to make, you know, if I'll wait a year by making that, I'll be fine. in the sense of speaking. So yeah. Do, do, do. But meanwhile, we are cracking along here. I just need to keep track of the yarn, because it does have a slight tendency of wanting to yarn bath when I'm pulling it, and that is simply because there's less and less yarn left in this cake. We are on the last half stretch of this round. Well, yeah, well, last half of the round, second half. And when we get to the end of this row, we are gonna measure yarn. The sense of we will be weighing it, and we'll compare that weight. Plus, depending on what's left, we will remove the label. And well, I'll have to remove the label regardless, because even if there is enough left or not, I will have to, like, if there isn't enough left, I'll wind it up in a ball and put it in my stash, my scrap pile stash. And then it's likely to be incorporated in some future scrap project. But so far I won't have enough scraps to actually practically do it, and as long as I don't have that, then It's just gonna hang out in the bag with the others of similar yarn thickness and compositions. So this is a cotton acrylic blend, so it will go in my cotton acrylic blend bag. But yeah, I am not sure. I am not sure. It's gonna be a close call, to be honest. If we can do another row or not. I can see that. But we are trying. So first we'll go to the end and we'll see. Remember not to scale watch too much. I so far once every 5-6 weeks I've had like a body measurement analysis. And the thing is, this is the fun part. So the fitness center has this weight scale that basically measures and analyzes your body and tells you blah 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 information, including moisture in your body. Apparently I need to drink more liquids. So here we go. For my height, I have more muscle mass than expected for a person of my height, but I definitely also have more weight and fat, which I'm not too surprised about. I was positively surprised about the muscle part because I had not expected that. So I'm never gonna be fully normal weight based on BMI and estimates because I am pretty, like, I'm bony, like I'm solid, rock solid build. That's just a natural me. Because there's not much skin or fat around my wrists, and they are reasonably solid compared to others. Small hands, solid wrists. Guess that's me. And I've been used to that, so it's not really, that's not bothering me. And for me, it's not about reaching a, it sounds crazy because we're talking about me wanting to thread 40 pounds. It's not necessarily so much about doing that. It's more about, I know that I felt much fitter when I was that much lighter. But it's not going to be at any cost because it still needs to be in a healthy way and in a way where like I just physically feel better, not mentally. Mentally I don't really care. So as long as I feel good about myself and that I physically feel better, that's kind of the hope, right? My body will be better from it. But that will definitely also include dropping 1 or 2 clothing sizes depending on where in my body that will be. And therefore, I would really hate spending so much time making an awesome sweater and then have it to be too big. So, and now I'm extremely motivated. It's gonna happen since I am spending money on a fitness center, which I didn't before I was saying I was gonna do it, but I just realized I have to. Yeah. So that's a part of it. We are on the second part of these feathers or waves or tips or whatever, fans. I don't know what we should call them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I've lost 50 lips about the last year, so my insurance company decided the diabetic med I had been on for 5 years was all of a sudden not covered, and I gained a ton of weight. Oh, goodness. The replacement med did not work for me, so I basically had uncontrolled diabetes for about 7 months. That's horrendous. Jesus. Well, what can I say? I will not be very happy if my insurance decides that my meds are no longer covered, but they are covered because my specialist basically tells them that I have to have it. So it's via the hospital. I won't be able to just get it on my own, or well, if I want to get it just on my own, I don't want to know how much I'm gonna pay for it, but it's like 230 euros per injection currently, so like 250 bucks ish. Oh, that was one too many. One too many stitches. Unravel one, which is not too much. That's okay. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, good. But I'm doing a lot better now. I am the lightest I've been in a decade. Oh, that's awesome. But I think you can also then like feel your body is better, right? Like you feel healthier in the sense of you feel more fit, even though that compared to a decade ago you were younger, but your body may say something different, right? So that's kind of the same concept I'm, I guess, going for. So even I just know it's a number, and it's not that I'm focused on going there. And us women, we have a thing with weight, and it fluctuates around a certain period every month. At least when you haven't passed the over age, like middle age, when you go into menopause. That was the word I was looking for. And I'm not there yet, so my weight loves to fluctuate once a month as well. And I tell you, that is somewhere between 1 to 4 pounds different depending on the month. 6, 8, 9. That is reality of life. And a lot less pain, so that's nice. Yeah, that's kind of what I hope would happen to my feet if I dropped those pounds. So that's why every time I'm like, yeah, apparently it's not so visible that I have them apparent to what was, especially for people that's known me. They like, yeah, you gained a few kilos, but it's not much. And I'm like, yeah, but in reality, it's a lot more than you think. Fitness should not be about thin, but more about feeling good in your bodies. Exactly. And I know I'm never going to be thin. Like, I'm never going to be a size small or extra small. That won't happen. Um, um, like, even if I would weigh less, I will still be a size medium to large around my, definitely large around my shoulders, just because I have wide shoulders. That's because how my body structure is. And I'm fine with that. I don't care about that. But as what Reke says, we need to feel good, healthy, and fit in our bodies. That is what's most important. And in any case, when it does come to a weight loss journey, we need to be self motivated about doing it as well, right? Like, if you aren't, it won't happen. I do admit, to some extent, for me, it's also slightly about self control. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Because I do have to access some self control. If I don't, like right now, my stomach basically is telling me I'm hungry, but I know that I'll have dinner in 2 hours. I shouldn't, and I've had lunch. I'm fine. Like, I'm not starving, even though it's trying to suggest me that I'm definitely starving it. Totally. Like, I should now at least eat whatever sack of crisps. I'm not a big crisp eater though, but I'm still trying to tell it that I am not stuffing it, and it is totally fine. It's just throwing a hissy fit. The day you know you're definitely you'll feel the drop in sugar levels, which I don't have, so it's just me, tummy, saying that it feels that it should have something more in it. And you can actually teach yourself to do different size portions. I had 2 buns for lunch, so hey, just saying, I did have something. I was a size 0 in my younger years since I could not put on weight. Now I'm happy not to be that thin since I did not feel good. I can also imagine actually being too thin would make you feel not good. Definitely. I can definitely imagine that. But yeah, so goal is just to be back where I would be considered more healthy than I am right now. Hallelujah. If anybody else is on a journey, we can journey together if you want. Helps motivation. My challenge is, of course, when I'm in Denmark, I don't have access to the fitness, but I'm fine with that. I'll just need to try to make sure that I take an extra walk or two. It's easy on the weeks where, or the days when we go to the hospital, because I'll take a walk around the hospital premises. Or in the sense of Tuesday, if it's weather is good, I will take a walk around Roskilde. Who knows? Could consider doing another Hobbii visit. Let's tour Hobbii for a second time. What I really hope for is when my mom feels more energized and healthy again, that we will actually start doing those yarn store tours that we spoke about back when she was, before she got sick. That would be nice. Hella, if you're hearing this, that could be good vacation destinations for my so random trips I want to do more often. Because I've said that I'd love to travel more and see my parents more in the coming years than I've done definitely the past 5 years with COVID and everything. Especially if I keep my current job, it's definitely also more possible to do it. Maybe not every month, but like every second would be reasonable. And also, it would give me the opportunity maybe to see my family a bit more. Because I've also not seen them as much as I'd love to over the past, let's say, 5 to 10 years. And it just happens when you live in a different country. It's just the distance is just too big, which is the reality of things. So that's a little hope of me onwards, that I'd love to do that. This was where I added this yarn, because I have ends. See, I need to weave them in tails. Yarn tails. Two. That was the 4 stitches I needed to skip. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I'm about to play yarn chicken with this black yarn. Just need 2 rounds of single crochets with me luck. All the best of luck. I am about to do a yarn chicken myself. Well, not yet, but I'm about to measure if I'll do yarn chicken. I won't do yarn chicken if there is not a defined certainty that I'll make all the way around. That's just how I look at it. My goal is to not be out of breath when walking upstairs. I get that. So, if I have to walk up like let's say 3 or 4 floors, yeah, I'll be a bit out of breath. But if I'm going from here to our attic, which is basically 2 floors, we have here the living floor, then we have first floor, and we have the attic. That's not an issue for me. And I was told yesterday, oh my God, you have an amazing condition. I was like, oh my God, I feel so out of condition compared to 10 years ago. That's when people don't know you, right? I'm like, I'm not very fit right now. They were like, I'm so impressed with you. I'm like, what? How can you be that? Well-minded said it was at the shooting range, and obviously I've been doing a lot of shooting in my past, and I'm not as close to what I used to be. But that was funny. Another reasoning and motivation definitely is the fact that we'll be getting new rules, and I'll need a new kit likely. And I'd love to have a new kit. You can definitely see on my kit that I've gained weight. Plus, the white is not doing me any favor. My current kit is white and light blue. I think the white color doesn't do me much graciousness either. Ronan says, moved halfway across the country and have not seen my family in about a decade. Oh, blimey. About 1,500 miles, or roughly 2,400 kilometers. I shall not complain when my parents lived 960 kilometers away, which is like, um, 700 miles or so. Good guess. Maybe a bit less. 650. Um, Even though the Netherlands and Denmark are fairly close, it's still an undertaking to take that trip. It is, because it is a full day takeout traveling, right? It's 9 hours by car, a bit less by flight, and definitely a lot of people's like, yeah, but why are you spending the money to take a flight when you could just drive? And I'm like, yeah, well, price wise, it's actually the same when I'm just going one person. Um, Plus, I won't need to spend my energy on being focused on the road because that is a very long drive on your own. Then I'd rather just lean back and relax and get transported. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And yes, Hella did hear the fact that we should go on a yarn trip when she feels better. Next year, maybe. It's all at her pace. She is basically the ultimate decider of how quickly things can go along. Which I'm fine with, by the way. I should take the win no matter what. Yeah, well, it definitely did feel like a win because I was like, thank you. But no, yeah, I was quite astonished getting that compliment. She's probably gonna be back on Friday, so I think I'm maybe gonna end up helping her out a bit because she was like looking a lot at me. And she's quite new at the club. So I might have to help her out for a bit just because I think that would be nice for her. Need to get her name. But yeah, I'm young because I'm younger than her. Which is a win I take too. When somebody call me young. Oh, you're not that old. Yay! I don't feel that old either, at least most of the time I don't. I do have some mornings where I really feel really old. No, but Reke says, okay, well, I'm trying not to use bots, but but plus that is a lot of miles to put on a vehicle several times a year. It is. It is. On the other hand, so my partner has a company car and he's allowed to drive in it privately. So that is basically um a good mean of transportation. But obviously, I can't take that car and just go away without bringing him with me, because it means he has to go to work. So he needs to go to work, because obviously that is the reason he has it. Um, and in my younger years, I traveled a lot also to Denmark in connection with the qualifications for Olympics and so on. So I was at the airport like twice a month. So he brought me to the airport and he picked me up again. So every time I left, he would bring me away, and every time I came back, he would pick me up. And that would be a way back and forth of about 125 kilometers each way. So that's 500 kilometers every time he had to pick me up or bring me away. So every time I traveled away or landed, he would drive 500 kilometers. So for every trip, basically, it would be a 500 kilometer round trip. And he did that for me. So just in 2011, I think that he probably drove like 12,000 kilometers on the car alone just for bringing me back and forth to the airports. And now we're not even mentioning the competitions that we could drive to on our own, or travels to Denmark outside of going to the airport, or for that matter, the German Liga, the German Bundesliga matches that I was shooting, which was also sometimes a 600 kilometers drive back and forth in a weekend. So we did a lot of mileage on that car back then. It was actually so bad that the boss ended up deciding that he was going to transfer from a gasoline to a diesel car, just to increase, like it would be cheaper for the distance that we were driving. But he wasn't complaining about the amount of kilometers. He was still very supportive of it. But yeah, had he known it would be that crazy, I think he would have gotten a diesel car a bit earlier back then. Now we're back on gasoline, but that has to do with Dutch laws and regulations that they are phasing out diesel cars, and basically it will almost be impossible to sell a second-hand diesel car in the Netherlands in the coming years. So we just have to accept that we don't drive as long on each tank of fuel, which totally sucks. We used to be able to drive like with a full tank. We could just about drive all the way to my parents and then fuel it there and then all the way back. And we would have the fuel paid from the Netherlands to Denmark, but we would have to pay in Denmark to get back to the Netherlands, basically. That's not possible anymore. We will definitely have to fuel on the way, because we can't even get all the way. We can get almost all the way, or very close, depending on how speedy we are. If we drive in a nice normal solid matter of 120-ish kilometers per hour on average on the highway, we can just about stretch it from the border to maybe my parents' place, if it's not too much wind against us. And we take the boat, so we do have a bit shorter drive. My parents is on the island of Zealand, and we have come to the conclusion that taking the ferry between Germany and Zealand is definitely a lot nicer than going all the way by car and toll bridge and so on. It's a shorter drive, plus the break on the ferry is really, really nice. It's a 45 minutes break that you just get for free, and you're still moving along. But they are working on a tunnel there, so in 3 to 4 years we will be driving that piece and not taking a ferry. But the benefit will be we will be there much quicker. We will definitely be there much quicker, because we don't have to wait on the ferry. And the drive is going to be like 15 minutes across or something like that. Where now it's waiting on the ferry, 45 minutes actual crossing on the ferry. So it's probably going to cut our travel time by somewhere between half an hour and 45 minutes. Welcome back, Susan. And the real question is, Revenant, are you still working on the yarn chicken, or did you win over the yarn chicken? I am very close to let's measure to see if we have to do. There's another edit yarn end that we need to weave in, but we will soon have to see if I am able to do one more row or not. And if I can do one more row, I am afraid we will not finish this one on this live. But the difference will be one row, because I don't think we can squeeze 2 rows out of whatever is left. That will be cautiously optimistic. But I am afraid that once we weigh this yarn, we will also have to remove the label just to see how much does that label weigh, just to confirm whether it feels reasonably comfortable. Right now, when I'm looking, I think it's possible, but it's just one row. So it's just one row. So I will definitely show you guys that before starting on it, I think. But let's see. Still working on it. Not being super diligent on my stitching at the moment. Oh. That is only cautious for if you're not diligent, you know. You risk having to redo it, which is not fun either. Especially if you lose yarn shooting. So I'll suggest you to be slightly more diligent. Just talking of experience. Oh my goodness. The last, oh, that was definitely not the stitch, that was between the stitches. Crossing fingers for you. More mean I keep putting it up and down to do other things. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yep. Well, keep putting it up and down to help type with us. We shouldn't disturb you too much. Ta -ta 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 -ta. Two, 4, 6, 7. 2 in the center. Chain 2, 2 more in the center of the double crochets. Then 7 more double crochets and a treble. And then it's yarn skill time. But looking at from here, I say we can do one more row. And that is me being optimistic. Slightly cautiously optimistic. You tell me. What do you think? That said, I also did estimate the label may be a bit heavier than it is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Lots of fun other distractions right now. My dog needed some attention amongst other things. Fair enough. What type of dog do you have? What breed? My partner used to have a dachshund. I've never had a dog. Granddad used to have a mutt. Lap collie mix. Sounds nice. So, round complete. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm putting this slightly away. I am just needing to pop over here so I can easily see what I'm doing. This, my friends, is what we have left. And there is a yarn label around it as well. Do you think, now you can also see why I have this horrible light, because you can actually see a shade of my lamp. Do you think we can do one more row or not? We are gonna weigh it. Do you think? And we're just gonna weigh this and make a conclusion before we are gonna have a nice look at the lap collie mix. I just want to do that for my own sake, because that is kind of the topic right now. So we have the yarn scale. I am just gonna turn it on, kitchen scale, and we had, oh my goodness, I stuffed that away. We had 35 grams. We do have a yarn label on it still, because that is yarn we are using, the Hobbii Azalea. It is 23 grams. I am cautiously kind to say we used 12 grams, which is less than I had anticipated. And in that event, I do believe, even when we do remove this yarn label, that we can do a full row. But I do not believe we can do 2. But I cautiously believe that we can do that. Yarn label gone. It's still 21 grams, which means if I use 12, it's 24. 1 row, yes. 2 rows, no. So we are heading on to our last row then. And now I hope that this is not going to crash too much. But conclusion is, hell yeah. 1 more row. But it also means that I won't finish this one today. Oh, well, I will finish it today, but not on this live. Well, depends on how much time I spend at the fitness tonight, because when I get home from fitness, I have an appointment with my partner, because the second part of Wednesday is gonna be on Netflix tonight. Well, it's probably already there, but we're gonna watch one tonight. Popping over to see a lovely doggy. Well, it turned a bit black, but here we go. She is black, fair enough. It's a little bit dark, but she looks sweet. I want to cuddle her. Assuming it's a her, by the way. But she looks gorgeous. So yeah, we are definitely gonna make row last. 1 more is not possible. I can definitely tell you that. 2 rows is not gonna squeeze out. Unless I suddenly use only 10 grams, then maybe, but then it's just gonna be like a close call. And I really don't believe that. So it's gonna be the very last row. Now I need to find where we are. We're here. So it's just gonna be the very last row, and then we are kind of done. What I should do, and that I promised you, I did it, but I didn't do it, is I am gonna just pop over to this view, and we're gonna pop up to my view, and I'm gonna I need to move my chair because it's gonna be in the way, frankly. I promised you to show you this guy. There's a few of the kilos. Oh, macaroni. Here we are. We can almost see the tip. That's all I need to do, like this. And I'm all the way back. I have like a piece of furniture here. I can't just move like that. So that's, my friends, is how it looks when you combine 2 cakes, which is not 2 full cakes. It's like 1 cake and 1/3 cake. Isn't this gorgeous? I think it is. It's hot. 1 more row, because we can. And I can also tell you one thing, which I can definitely guarantee you. I will not be able to block this on the boards I have. And I do have like 18 mats, but I won't be able to stretch them out far enough. So I'll need to do a double block, which means like I'll block 1/2 and then I'll block the other half. That is reality. And I do see that actually my other camera had probably been better for coloration. Should I do that? Maybe I should. Huh. I need to catch up here. Oh, my chat is not catching up. Sweet. Ah, there it is. Finally, my chat loaded. It's a her. Yay! Made a good guess. Absolutely gorgeous. What does it look like on? Well, sorry, I hadn't worn it actually. It's not easy with a strand attached. Megan, would you be okay with me showing that for my yarn talk video? I'll like wear the unblocked version for you on Friday's yarn talk video. Would that work for you? Because right now with the string attached, I'm too afraid that I'll pull by accident too much on the yarn and make yarn bath for myself. I'll really absolutely not be very happy to do that because really this yarn you do not want to like untangling this yarn is a nightmare. I had to do it with the Stendy cake when I made the purity shawl. It was slightly entangled, the rest of it, what was over, and that was horrendous. So yeah, I'd rather not have to do that. Need to run off. Chat with you all later. Take care, everyone. It was absolutely wonderful to have you with us in this very quite social yarn event today. I'm not going to be here for much more than another half an hour. So that is also why I can tell you with guaranteed that I won't have enough time to finish this row because it takes me a bit more than an hour to do. I'll maybe make it to the tip and then have like half left. Oh, come on. I really don't think I need to add the stitch marker anymore that I tend to add. 2, 4, 6, 7. But I think I'll just do, in the event that I end up having enough yarn to make one more extra. But my stomach feeling tells me that this is genuinely the very last row that we're heading out on. And I have to say, when I was holding this one up, it was most lovely and most larger than I had expected it to be. It definitely did increase the size a bit than I had anticipated. Not bad, but it doesn't feel that large when I'm working on it as when I held it up. Pattern name, yeah, name is in the description. Exactly, it is the Ultimate Sacrifice Shawl, this yarn. This yarn. this pattern is it's the Ultimate Sacrifice Shawl by Lorraine Perk. I do not know. Currently, it she has it on Ravelry, but not able for purchase currently. And it's gorgeous. It is really gorgeous. And it's not the first and it's not the last I'm making. And I do have some ends where I can easily make more also, even not necessarily in a multiple stranded one. It could also be in a solid twister, or yeah, well, I do have a few solid twisters. I could make like a full solid one. I do think this pattern looks best in a gradient of some kind or color changing yarn. So if it's variegated or if it's a gradient like this one, I do think that's nicest. Though that said, I really like that the center can be different. But not necessarily has to be. But yeah, so need to find yarns as well to prepare for travels. Saturday is likely gonna be packing day, I think. Packing in good time to go there. Uh, the pattern says that you can. You don't have to. Um, the pattern actually suggests it. The pattern is made in a sultan shadow cake. And that suggests you to color control. Since we know we're not going to finish it this time around, let's see if I have it still somewhere under my favorites. Just because it's quicker like that. I have lots of things. Clearly. Including the heart collectors. I didn't fade this. Probably not because I have it. Instead, what I can do, that's probably the quicker one, is I'll just find the link I have in the stream. It's just slow. There we go. Let's pop over and check it out. Ta-ta. Here we have it. Oh, sweet. It's back online for sales, I think. Looks like it. It wasn't for a time. Maybe it's possible to buy it again. Seems like it, which is nice. For a long time, it wasn't possible to purchase it anymore. Anyhow, this is in the Sultan Shadow Cake. And here she color controls it because it gives this extremely nice effect. I've done two where this is the second I do where I color control it, putting the darker in the center, but I also have one that's just solid from the center out, which is this one. This is like not changing and just doing from dark to light. I made this one this spring. And that's actually not blocked either. I need to block this one still. It's still pending blocking. So this is just laid out after I sewed in the last end and I grabbed the photo of it, which is absolutely freaking gorgeous. This one is basically going to be the same. I will be able to reach to make a spread out lay pattern of this probably, or I'll grab something other nice photo of it. But I still think it does best and looks nicest once blocked. Can I find the other photo of it which I made? That would be a question. I can. So what we can do is need to do it like this, and we pop this one over. That is the other one I made. That is blocked though. That is an 800-meter cake of the Halloween yarns from Hobbii. And that is with a dark black center, and then I worked it out. It has a white background, but sorry, I do have a invisible background on it, so I don't have the further white out, but you should still be able to see it decently, even though the background is a bit funky. So that's the second option that I made. It's super gorgeous. I really enjoy this pattern. I see it's back for purchase, so which is good for her. Make lots of advertisements for it right now as well, given the fact that I'm here streaming, talking about it. And the pattern, I personally think it's easy. That said, in the very beginning, you have these pieces where you increase and so on. You do need to do your counting when doing those, or you'll mess it up. So you need to be mindful when you do those increases. She also writes it nicely in the pattern, so it's definitely, it's not a beginner's pattern, but I would say once you have, like, it's a bit intermediate in the sense of the counting aspect, but the stitches you need to be able to do is basically I recommend the stacked single crochets with turning around. It makes the edge much nicer. Treble, double, chains. That's it. Oh, a magic circle to start off with. So like the sort of stitches you need to do to actually make this pattern is very easy. The counting part, like to keep track of it, is a little bit intermediate. So it's probably like beginner to intermediate in that sense. But the stitches you need to do is very easy, very beginner friendly. So once you are going and once you have gone through it and the stitch matches up and you get into this shell-like sections, it's just walk in the park to make this pattern. It really is. It's just a bunch of double crochets basically. Placed in the right way basically causes you to get this gorgeous result. What's more to say? So yeah, we will definitely be able to finish this shawl and add that last row, which is basically what I assessed at the very beginning of this video or this live, that we would get there. And if you're watching the restream, thank you so much for watching it. I very much appreciate your support. But yeah, I'm pretty happy that we can add that extra row. It just gets even more flowy when you do. So yeah, I am happy. Oh no. Yarn split up here, so we are gonna frog back. I do not want to do that when the yarn split is basically gonna look like a snack. And given this is the outer edge, outer border, you can't work it away the following row either. So I'd rather frog back those 9 stitches and fix it. Reg is gonna leave us again. Hugs and love to us all. Thank you so much, Reg. Thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon. It was wonderful to spend time with you. I'm just gonna crack along a little bit longer. As I said, I hope we can kind of like get to the tip. But looking at the time right now, I'm not so sure. But we have also been deviated looking at yarns and patterns and looking at more yarns. That said, even though we have been looking at other things this live, I do not believe that even if we had not looked at these other things that I would have reached to finish it. It would have been a really, really close call squeeze. But I think I would probably have finished the last larger shells or tips here, which I'm currently working on, which is the end or the beginning of the rows. But yeah, I warmly recommend her pattern in the sense of how gorgeous it is, and that is also why I've linked to the pattern in the description box down below. Credit is due where credit is due. And in this case, it's due for rain. It is €6.50 for those of us curious. But I'm happy to see it's back online. It was there, but it wasn't possible for purchase for a time being, and now I see that it's back, so that's nice. Yep. Let's see. 2, 2. So that should be good. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Even though it's the last round, I'm just trying to not make the classic mistakes of adding an extra stitch. But yeah, that means that I'll get to finish this one either tonight or tomorrow. And so it ends. And as promised, I'll definitely wear it for Friday's yarn talk video and give you guys a nice photo of it. Depending on weather, I may attempt seeing if I can get a bit of photo of it outside, hold it up in full display. Not sure if I will have enough room indoor to grab a such photo. Maybe. That is a big maybe. And if it's dark outside, I don't have the best light indoors to do it. We'll see. 2, skip 4. Like that. On to the next. Meanwhile, here in the Netherlands, it's 13 minutes to 5 in the afternoon, which means that about 10 to 15 minutes time, we will be slowly coming towards the end of the stream. We almost finished. Oh, I will most definitely enjoy my dinner. My stomach is telling me that I'm starving it for quite the time now, like an hour. And I'm telling my stomach it's not being starved yet. Like it doesn't even grasp the concept of being starved. It's just hungry. Do you have any special plans for lunch? But yeah, the fact that I realized the reason for the slight lack of taste is due to the fact that I missed out bouillon is that's a bit bummer, but it's good enough. You know, it is fresh veggies, freshly made, not a sachet of herbs. So that's kind of nice. A wrap sandwich doesn't sound bad either. Or a salad, also not bad. I have to say, so Sunday I'll be flying Scandinavian Airlines, and I'm kind of sad it's not the KLM, which is Koninklijke Luchtmaatschappij van the Netherlands. Yay, that sounded fancy. They do partner with Delta Airlines for the Americans to get a bit of an easier reflection. Is that the KLM will serve me an in-flight breakfast, and the SACE will just give me a cup of tea or a glass of water. That's it. Yeah, that's flying cheap. October though, I'm going with KLM. Two, four, six, eight, nine. But yeah, technically you're paying for that too, right? When the tickets are more expensive. But I'm genuinely not going with the flight just to get something to eat and drink, though it's nice. It's just an extra hassle I need to consider at the airport, or on the way, or whatnot. Which means that I need to consider if I need to bring some kind of sandwich or snack, small snack, probably. On the other hand, I may, based on the pace I've been eating apples / not been eating apples this week, may have an extra apple. Well, I'll just bring that as an extra snack. That's worth a consideration. Or I need to probably just buy an extra snack just to have something for until I get to the train station. The good thing is flying SAS from Düsseldorf Airport is that I will be able to go to my lovely little corner, my little working corner. So I'll get a morning hot chocolate and I'll go and sit down and I can work for like an hour, which is good because it's an hour less I need to work next week. But that's just a tiny detail. So we are getting closer to the end of these. Not completely. We have 2.5 to go. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, chain 2, the other half side. And what will the project then be once this is done? Well, my friends, I will probably first finish up my knit beanie. And what will I do for the rest of this week? Yep, time will show. Maybe, because it has seemed to cool down a bit, maybe, just a maybe, I'll have time to work on Fleur. Because there's many of things to do. I have a pile of laundry that I've been postponing. It is washed, it is dry, but I'll need to fold it. And I'm not really, it's not a chore that I enjoy. It's just more like a chore that has to be done. And today, of course, I could have option to, I guess, fold laundry rather than going live. But I was like, nah, I'd rather be with you guys than I want to go ahead and fold my laundry. But reality is that over the next couple of days, definitely before I go to Denmark, I will need to prioritize doing that. Yeah. Oh no. Need to keep track of this yarn. Let's see, I need one more stitch. One more stitch. And then we head on to the last fan of this side of the shawl. I even feel my fingers starting to tingle, which tells me that I'm holding my hand higher than I normally would be compared to what I do. Blood running away. Anyhow, we are cracking nicely along here, but as I said, we won't finish this shawl today. It will be done close though, because we are on the last row. We are on the last row because, as I told you guys, there won't be enough yarn to make one more go around. I really don't think there will be. For funsies though, I will promise you guys to weigh it before cutting off the end, just to confirm that indeed that I was probably right, that there won't be enough yarn. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. My hands are saying they want a break to prepare for dinner. So we did reach to finish all this shell brine row here. We are missing from here to the tip and then the other side. Now my next challenge is to get this back in my crate without bashing the yarn, which is probably going to happen. Oh well. Oh well. That is how it's going to be. No, it's not. I don't want to do that. I am literally now afraid of that cake colliding on itself completely. So I can't put it down in the same anymore. I will put the lid on top and I will place it on top of the lid. That will protect my cake. I will, if that caves in, then I'm fucked. Basically. That would not be a good thing. That would not be a good thing. So let's pop over here. Slightly bit lighter screen. I didn't finish up this, nor did I finish up my tea. I got about halfway in both, which I think is good considering it's not good enough. I need to drink even more. I should have finished the whole glass at least during this live, so I'll go along and chuck that down once we're done here. I'm so grateful for everybody who's been hanging around with me today. It was an absolutely amazing and wonderful time. If you do want to know, the pattern is in the description box down below as well. It was listed earlier in this chat. I think. No, it wasn't. It's just in the description box down below. Sorry, so down below. Feel free to comment on this live. Yep, I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great time too. I will be back on Friday with the yarn talk video. Next week, yeah, I do have a yarn haul video coming up for you guys. I won't be live next week because I will be in Denmark. Thank you so much for the hearts. So next time I will be live will be in Wednesday, 2 weeks from now. So that will be around the, what would that be? 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th of September. So that will be my next live. I don't know what we're going to be working on yet by then. We will have to see. Time will show. Feel free to pop suggestions if you feel like it's needed. But as I said, I don't know what that's going to be yet. Maybe I'll have a new yarn cake here and we'll find out something together. Or maybe I'll finally get along starting on that heart collectors. I probably should slowly though. Thank you so much for your kind wishes, Susan says. Have a nice trip. I will most definitely do so. Looking forward to see my family. And also looking forward to unlocking that frequent flyer status, which I will have when I get back home, because then I have it unlocked. That's cheaper flying. Hallelujah for that. Free luggage. So yeah, I have a few videos, of course, prepared for you guys when I'm gone, and in the beginning when I'm back, I have a few things to sort as well. That's always like that when you get home from travels. But I will most definitely see you live on the 17th of September, so in exactly 2 weeks from now, unless something has happened, either me being sick or whatever. But the plan is, yes, that will be my next live. So thank you so much for watching. It was great to be with you all. Take care and happy crafting. Answers you again. Love you all. Bye.